I mentioned Corbin Burnes. Well, he did sign a contract with the Arizona Diamondbacks over the weekend. The infamous 1 a.m. Eastern time kind of woke up to the news, but he signed a 6-year, $210 million contract with the D-backs. He does have an opt-out after year 2. The D-backs swooped in kind of unexpectedly. Um, there wasn't a whole lot of chatter that the Diamondbacks were in on Burnes, but he was not shy about making it known that he wanted to play close to home. I believe he lives in Scottsdale, so he is an Arizona native resident. And, the report, everyone's heard here on Twitter, his wife had twins. And as a guy who has twins himself, I understand what kind of burden it would be to have to pack up and get those newborn kids, travel them across the country and get all set up. His wife's comfortable in Scottsdale. He's from the area. He wanted to be in the West Coast. And then Scott Boras, of course, made it happen. And he signed a mega deal. It's not like he took too big of a hometown discount, but when you factor in taxes and living costs, it made a whole lot of sense in that department. But pitching-wise, it is a great move for the Diamondbacks. And I do want to give the Diamondbacks a hell of a lot of credit here because, they're a mid-market team. They're not New York. They're not LA. They're not Chicago. And yet they see this winning window. They won more games last year than the season where they went to the World Series. And now they're just kind of putting their money where their mouth is. They're putting together a team that should compete in the NL West, a team that really, when you kind of look at it on paper, this might be one of the best pitching rotations in the league. You got that Corbin Burnes, Zac Gallen 1-2 punch. That's pretty dangerous. And then Merrill Kelly's been an effective starter since he came back from the KBO. Eduardo Rodriguez and Fat, who's kind of rounding into potentially his prime of his career. And that leaves Jordan Montgomery on the outside looking in. I think they can get rid of Montgomery. They're probably going to have to eat some salary to make it happen. Or you could just keep him around for depth. Pitching depth it's not a mirage, but it's here until it's not. So you might look at your rotation and say, we got 5 strong, we got a 6th. We don't really need all of these arms. If you watch baseball, when you get to the dog days, right after 4th of July, you might have some pitching injuries. And a guy like Montgomery, of course, had a horrible year last year. But, I think we can attribute some of that to how the offseason played out. The dragging out of the signing. He didn't sign until damn near Valentine's Day, maybe even later, maybe even closer to the season. So, but we're not talking about Montgomery. I don't need no facts and stuff about Montgomery. We're talking about Burnes and what he brings to the D-backs. What he brings is a workhorse type ability. And this is, why I thought he'd be a great fit for the Red Sox. The Red Sox go Buehler. They go a little bit less known, but has, I'm not going to say similar upside, but definitely has some upside. But Burnes is everything you want in an ace. He is everything you want in a number one starter. Over these past 3 seasons, 202 innings, 193 innings, 194 innings. Just sticking around that 200 inning mark, taking the ball every 5th day is so damn important. And it's just starting over 30 games. He has over 30. He started over 30 games each of the last 3 seasons, and now he's done it in the NL. He's done it in the AL. Now he heads out to the NL West. And he'll play in some pitcher-friendly ballparks. Dodger Stadium is a little bit more advantageous for pitchers. San Francisco, I don't even know what they call that stadium anymore, but that's certainly a pitcher-friendly ballpark. His home ballpark in Arizona slightly skews towards pitching advantage. So, good signing by him. Smart move on his part to kind of just hold out for that West Coast. We did see the reports. The Blue Jays and the Giants gave bigger offers, offered more money, but with the taxes and the comfort of being in Arizona, something he couldn't pass up. And then I think, when you look at the roster, you look at what this team's building, they got a good team. They also added Josh Naylor. Ketel Marte is coming off of an MVP-esque season. And, Corbin Carroll is a guy that, let's not forget how good and how talented he is at the top of that lineup. So the Diamondbacks are now a serious contender in the NL West and in the NL in general. Of course, it will be a gauntlet. The Giants, Dodgers, Padres are all going to be ready for battle this year. But getting Burnes adds an arm that just simply a lot of teams don't have. And, of course, I'm just going to say this for the sake of it. all the underlying metrics pretty much support the surface stats that we've seen. Keeps the hard hit rate under 30% or right around 30%. Sierra in the threes. And Corbin Burnes it was a great get for the Diamondbacks. And again, I don't think just a strict baseball fan, I think it's important to kind of tip your hat and kind of give props to the Diamondbacks, because this is a team that didn't have to spend a whole lot of money, but they did. And it's good for baseball that more teams are just not going to bow down to the Dodgers. They're not just going to go quietly into the night. They're going to go ahead and get ready for battle. So the Burnes signing, great signing for the Diamondbacks, kind of low key, kind of unexpected, but they got themselves a workhorse over the next 2 to 6 years. We'll see what he decides.